forever. Love you.
Welcome to Brad and Mira
Hello.
for the Culture. To today's episode, we're so sorry we missed you last week. I'm Mira. That's Brad.
Hi.
And this is the show where we don't discuss anything important happening in the world. We only discuss bullshit on this show. Brad, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I think that it is good that we are creating a safe space for people who just want to engage with mindless bullshit and like
But not a
vapid.
safe space for people who disagree with my pop culture opinions. Just to be clear, I am always correct.
This is Mira's dictatorship of pop culture
That's right.
Opinions.
Yeah. Brad insisted on naming it Brad and Mira for the Culture. I wanted to name it Mira is always right and Brad is always wrong. You know, tomato, tomato.
Tomato. But yeah, how are you? Like, how are you spiritually?
How am I spiritually? You know, spiritually, I'm basically never great. And so I'm pretty much the same. You know, I'm pretty much, yeah, everything's about as bad as I always thought that it was. And it remains that bad. And so, you know, I'm not too surprised by anything. You know, not that we're discussing anything important on this podcast, because again, we don't discuss things that are important.
No.
Don't look
ever.
at my nail. It did break off in my sleeve. It's not my fault.
Really? What happened?
I mean, these are very unnatural. I do not think humans are supposed to have acrylic nails. So sometimes they break off and you just don't even notice it.
They're so sharp. Those look like claws. Is
Uh-huh,
that what
they're claws.
is it supposed to be that you want the claw look? Is that what it is?
I mean, what if I said no and just had these nails? That would be really insane, wouldn't it?
So Mira's
I want a claw look.
yeah. So for people listening, Mira has nails that are painted like some kind of aquatic, like seafoam green,
They
blue,
used an airbrush and it's like green, blue, yellow-ish.
but they look like they're very sharp. They look like daggers.
For those who know what nails are, they are stilettos. Stiletto nails.
That's what they're called.
That's what the shape is called. They'll say, do you want square? Do you want coffin? Do you want almond? Do you want stiletto?
Wait, what's coffin?
Coffin is like, okay, so square, you know, it's just like this. Coffin is like a tapered square. So it's like that, but still square on top. Almond
Okay.
is like this, which is just like top of an almond shape. And then stiletto is more like that, pointier. This is somewhere between an almond and a stiletto.
Do you always get I mean, is that what you always get, or do you have do you mix it up?
I mix it up. I never get square. I'm not a huge fan of square, but I'll do almond, stiletto, or coffin, depending. I'll usually get like a less sharp one if I know I'm going to like be seeing my nieces and nephews or something like that.
What do they call the? It's called like a French
Manicure?
Yeah, I don't like that.
What is a French manicure?
I
Explain
don't
it.
know. I don't know, but I think I don't like it.
You think you don't like it? Okay, can you guess what it is?
No, I'm trying to I think I can kind of picture it. You can get a French pedicure too, right?
Yeah, you can. People do it, yeah.
What are you doing there? What do you got?
This is a ring pop that I got from my nail salon.
They give ring. Oh, I guess it's a Halloween thing.
Just an everyday. They give out candy and champagne.
Where do you get your nails done?
You're just gonna dox me? I go to Glam House on Pico Boulevard.
Glam House. All right.
They specialize in making insane nails like this. And so when I go in and I'm like, I would like stiletto airbrush nails, they're like, no problem. Instead of like, you're psychotic.
Here's a ring pop.
Here's a ring pop. Do you want some booze?
When were you there? Were you just there and then now you've already broken off one of your stilettos, or?
No. In fact, I might get a fill today. You're supposed to get a fill like once every 2 weeks, and it's been like 2.5, which is probably why this one broke off.
No.
Yeah,
It's a lot of maintenance. I didn't know that there was a word like fill. Like you get a fill.
Yeah, because they don't take the whole nail off. That takes a really long time. You have to like soak it and stuff. So they just like, people aren't watching, but my nails have grown out a tiny bit, and you can see that there's a little natural nail there, and they fill it and they refile it and repaint it.
Damn. I feel like that would be weird to have like long nails like that, to have like claws, like just to do basic stuff would be.
You know, you learn how to do things when you have long nails, like how to do things differently. Like if you're like pressing a button, for example, like I press buttons with my knuckles so that I don't point and press like that, because it'll put like a lot of pressure on the nail and like it's not fun. Or like, getting your credit card out of a parking meter, that is like impossible with nails. You literally need like a tweezer or something. I don't know how people do it.
Right. I feel like parking meters, it should just be your phone at this point. Like, why are we even dealing with credit cards?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like credit cards confuse old people, and like phones probably also would. So it's like you might as well do the easier one.
I just think you should just like look at it at this point and it should be done. You don't have to.
You should just look at it.
I don't know.
You want to give them like your eye, whatever the fuck, your like eye retina information.
That's
like,
right.
Like Vanilla Sky. Did that happen in Vanilla Sky? No, Minority Report.
Minority Report, yeah.
Yeah. Different time.
I sometimes see those, those little like robot cart things that like wheel around and deliver. They make deliveries.
Yeah.
You ever see those?
Yeah, they all have names on them. If you look, they're all named.
Okay. My dog can't stand them. She freaks out when she sees one.
Good. I always feel like with those things, what I would like to do is to just get a small ramp, like just a small little ramp, and just put it in front of one. Then just have it go up the ramp and just fall.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how reliable they are. I don't know how fast they are. They don't go very fast. Like, I don't know who's sending shit with those things. Like,
it's like food delivery.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten food from one of those?
God, no. I live upstairs. I don't know how it would even do it.
Like, no, like it calls you and then you go downstairs and like put in a code and then you open it and they take your food out, I think.
I don't trust that shit. When I see a self-driving car on the street, you ever see those like Waymo self-driving cars?
Yeah.
I like avoid them like the plague. I'm like, this car is going to fucking hit me. I don't trust it.
Oh, wait, those things are self-driving?
Yeah, if you look in the car, there's nobody driving it.
Oh, I thought they were like mapping the territory. I thought it was like Google Maps.
Yeah, they look like a Google Maps car, but they're actually like, there's nobody driving them.
I just saw one with my son the other day. We were looking at it.
Yeah.
It was a Jaguar.
A Jaguar? Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. I don't even know cars. Maybe the one I saw was a Jaguar too.
I think those Waymo cars might all be Jaguars, but
that's fucking insane. What do they like? Are they like Ubers?
I don't know. I'm not getting in a fucking self-driving car anytime soon.
No, I cancel Ubers when they're Teslas. Like I don't fuck around.
I feel like getting an Uber, especially as like a young woman on her own. Like I'm thinking of my daughter, but I'm like,
it's frightening.
I don't want her getting in an Uber.
I mean, like, here's what women generally do in Ubers if they're smart and concerned. And what I do is I have the map on my phone and I have my hand on the door. So if they start going in a weird direction, if they start going not to where I'm going, I text Tyler, I open 911, I have my hand on the car door, I say stop the car, or I open it while they're moving.
You carry like any kind of pepper spray or anything on you?
No, because they do say that pepper spray is not the best like thing to use against somebody who's trying to attack you, because it doesn't like actually stop them. It just kind of like makes their eyes irritated or whatever. I have a big stabby thing.
A big stabby thing.
Stabby. It's not a knife, but it's like a pointy stabby metal object.
Jesus. There's not even a name for it. This is a sophisticated weapon.
Yeah, girls will know what girlies, if you're listening, I think you know what I'm talking about when I say I have a big stabby thing on my keys. A lot of girls have them.
Wow. But pepper spray, I feel like pepper spray, I have pepper spray in my house. That's like...
It's not the worst to carry pepper spray, but I also like don't trust myself to like use it like in the right direction. Like knowing me, I just feel like if there was like an assailant and I tried to pepper spray them, I'd like accidentally pepper spray myself in the face somehow. Right.
Yeah. You've got to like, you've got to deal with it and like point and make the right physical decisions.
Stab.
So we have to discuss like pop culture. We're going to try to create a show that people can come to where they don't have to think about anything or engage with anything that has any meaning at all.
Guess what, Brad?
That's our goal.
We created it.
That's right.
Brad and Mira for the culture. We've been doing it.
This is a visionary show. This show has been happening, sort of anticipating this moment, and now here we are.
Yeah, or not anticipating this moment, as is the whole show is not anticipating, not thinking, not.
That's right.
Talking about anything important. If one day Brad and I both become very wealthy and successful, perhaps we could publish our text exchanges in which I I berate Brad about different political things, but for now we're discussing pop culture because in the end, Brad and I are friends.
That's right. Well, we're going to start off today, Mira, by talking about Drew Barrymore's talk show.
Oh, yes, Drew Barrymore, you strange woman. I mean, all love to her. Oh, can you hear the garbage truck outside my window?
Yeah, I can hear it. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like Drew Barrymore's talk show and interview style is interesting. There's a story that's going around in the tabloids about Martha Stewart pushing Drew Barrymore away.
Did you know that I'm like Martha Stewart's like #1 fan? Like I should run the Martha Stewart fan club. Like,
wait, how many #1 fans can you be? You're like Taylor Swift's #1 fan.
Yeah, keep naming them.
I don't know. I don't know. Who else do you like? You like Martha Stewart, Taylor Swift. What is it with you and all these like white ladies?
I mean, there's a lot of famous white ladies in the world. I mean, it's also not all ladies that I like,
Yeah.
And not all white ladies that I like, but in terms of like the people who I like stan, it's pretty much Taylor Swift and Martha Stewart.
Why? What is it about those two? And what is it about Martha Stewart? Taylor
Swift we've discussed ad nauseum, so I'll leave that one. But Martha Stewart, I have been a fan of since I was quite young. I used to, I was subscribed to both of her magazines, to Martha Stewart Living and Martha Stewart Kids.
What?
Since I was like fucking a little ass kid, I used to do all of her recipes. It's like how I learned how to bake. For Christmas one time, I got the Martha Stewart cookbook, and I have cooked almost every recipe in the entire book. I watched her TV show religiously. Like, I am like a scholar in her path. Like, I am like a #1 Martha Stewart fan. And no, I have not watched the Netflix documentary yet, but I will.
Okay, but like you're a child? I didn't know this about you. You're a child and you're into Martha Stewart? Was she just on TV? Or?
Yeah, she was like on TV doing these like cooking shows type of thing. It was like a Julia Child kind of show, basically, where it would be like cooking, but also like sometimes she would like organize things or have like a guest on to teach her how to cook something or like whatever it might be. This is before she went to jail. It was like my favorite thing. I loved it. I was a weird little kid. I don't know. I fucking love this shit. I was like, yeah, like I want to like organize all of my crafts with little labels and like I want to make Halloween cookies. Like, I loved her. My mom also loved her. So like, I guess maybe that's how I started liking her. But like, she's an icon. She taught yoga when she went to federal prison. She is, I know for a fact, genuinely close friends with Snoop. They text all the time. They have little lunches together that aren't even on camera. They like are really good friends. Like, she's just iconic.
Yeah, she is. She has like a good sense of humor, I feel like.
Yeah, she's funny. She's like got good politics, a good sense of humor. She's like talented.
Wait, she meets your standard for politically?
Yeah, she's like a prison reform like person. She's all about prison reform, all about felons being able to vote, like all this stuff.
Yeah, like after she served time.
She's a felon.
That's kind of bullshit, though, what happened to her.
Total bullshit what happened to her. Like, fucking rich people are doing much worse insider trading fucking constantly, and they just decided to make a fucking example out of her.
Right.
But she made the best of it. Those fucking inmates loved her.
I bet. She's, like, cooking for him, I bet. I bet she's, like...
They let her cook, but...
Why? Someone's got to do it.
I mean, I guess she could cook like the prison food, but you really don't have much options there. It's like, let's put these frozen nuggets in an oven and call it a day.
Yeah, God only knows what they serve in those prisons, but
it's the same as what they serve in schools. Same company.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's like gotten maybe
literally
a little
the
bit
exact same.
It's gotten a little bit better, at least in some places. But
like
when I was a kid, do you know the sort of shit we got in the cafeteria? Like.
I mean, same. It was fucking insane.
It was so disgusting. And I ate it. Like my friends and I, you just go through that line and like in the Midwest and they'd scoop out like some weird, like freeze-dried mashed potatoes and you get Salisbury steak. And,
oh my God. I remember in elementary school, we did a field trip to like the place where they make school lunches and every single child left traumatized. It was like they had to write like an apology letter to all the parents because it was just like such a horrifically disgusting environment full of like just I don't know, like mushes, like various just like mushes that they made into shapes and then served you, you know?
I went on a field trip. I want to say it was with my 9th grade biology class. And my biology teacher took us to the Dow Chemical Factory
What the fuck?
Indianapolis. I think it was Dow. And
like, come on, kids, let's all get cancer.
like, right. But no, it was like we toured this facility and there was like a room where they had nothing but kennels, and the kennels were all filled with these beagles, and the beagles were yapping and terrified. They were like the experiment dogs.
And they showed that to you as a child?
That's right. Yeah.
They were like, let's show them these dogs that we're torturing. The kids will love it.
I want to say the guy was like, yeah, like, you know, some of them died. This was Indiana. There's like a hard-assness to that place where they're just like, well, kids, this is how they figure out whether or not the chemicals are dangerous. You know?
Jesus. And they didn't do a very good job of it, apparently. I mean...
And like, why beagles? Like, that's what I don't understand, you know, these poor
I'm
beagles.
sure there's a scientific reason, but like, that's like, there's such a specifically cute animal. Like, it's not like a monkey or a rat, it's like a beagle. It's like a family dog.
They have good like beagles have a really good sense of smell. Maybe it's something to do with that.
Right, maybe that. I mean, when I was in elementary school, and I don't know if they still do this with LUSD, but there's like a field trip to the Museum of Tolerance in 5th grade that everyone goes to. 5th grade, just to be clear. The Museum of Tolerance is a museum commemorating the Holocaust. And there is in this museum, or was at least.
Is this the one that's over by the Grove?
Yeah, I think it's like Beverlywood kind of area. Beverly Fairfax.
Yeah, Beverly Fairfax.
Yeah, I think that's right. And in it, they have like, you know, a bunch of horrific shit. They have like real outfits that people wore in Auschwitz. And they have a replica of a gas chamber that you can step inside of. Which I did in 5th grade. Like everyone was crying. It was like the most traumatizing thing that you could put 5th graders through. And this was like an LAUSD across every LAUSD school. They did this with kids in 5th grade when I was in 5th grade. Like yeah, now I will not forget the fucking Holocaust. Not that I was going to before, but like making us go into a replica gas chamber kind of feels like overkill.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much for somebody. What are you when you're like 10 years old when you're in 5th grade?
Yeah, like that's fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
Like legit psychotic.
Do you feel like it scarred you?
I feel like a lot of things scarred me.
Yeah. Where do we even begin with Mira's scars? With all of our scars.
Did, but like I've got plenty of other scars to discuss before that one.
Yeah, that was like a minor one. Oh, the gas chamber? That was nothing.
Honestly, it was more scarring for me personally. And by the way, that sound is not me pissing. That is my dog drinking water once again. What was more scarring for me is that in LAUSD schools, and again, I don't know if they still do this, but in 4th grade, something like that, they have you do a school project on the missions. Now, for those of you who don't know what the missions are, in California, which used to be Mexico, the Spanish invaded, and they put Mexicans into work camps. So, you know, it's a concentration camp, more or less.
And indigenous people. It was like the indigenous
Mexicans.
Like the Chumash and the Tongva people.
Yeah, exactly. So like indigenous Mexicans on Mexican land. This is why I'm white. It's because like Spanish settlers like raped my ancestors, and now a lot of Mexican people look white. But the missions are in California, and the difference is that they're like architecturally beautiful. Like they're like old Spanish style, like adobe, like just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous buildings. And so people tour them all the time, and there's like, you know, cute little things there, and like, oh, we like taught the Mexicans how to harvest olives or whatever. But like, you know, like my mom had to like afterwards, like literally go to the school and be like, so she'll do a project on the missions, but it is going to be about how they enslaved her ancestors. And the teacher was like, that's all right. She can be exempt from this project.
I mean, you got to get the history right. We can't can't whitewash it. It's I want to say, what did I read? I read some book about that, about like the history of California, because I was like, you know, I've lived here for like 20 something years. I should know more about the history. And
yeah, the history, like long story short, is California was Mexico and really still should be.
I mean, Yeah, my wife would be laughing or rolling her eyes if she heard me say this, but like one of my like great fantasies is to somehow go back in time and to see like Southern California before it was settled by the Spaniards, and like 300 or 400 years ago. I would love to see what this place must have looked like.
I mean, yeah, it's like probably incredible. I would love to see what Los Angeles looked like even like 100 years ago, like, or when they had rails, when, you know, Boerum Hill existed, when like, no, not Boerum Hill. What was it?
Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, like all these things, like you know, being on the Angel's flight, like whenever it was first made, like that would have been amazing. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you know, I just think that like the nature of it all, it was such a it was like a pristine, beautiful, perfect wilderness. And we just fucked it all up.
We all know I don't like nature that much anyways, though. So
I like nature. I'm a nature person.
Yeah, Brad's taken me on hikes before, and I spent the entire time being like, Brad, this is the worst experience of my life. I'm going to kill you. We are not friends anymore. I'm going to murder you. I'm going to call your wife, and I'm going to get you in trouble.
I took Mira on a hike once, and I remember you were like red in the face, and you were genuinely pissed at me. You were pissed. I
was so pissed. I was so mad because I was like, okay, we're going to go on. You were like, it's going to be a mild hike, no problem. And then you had us go, like, enter the trail in like the most difficult. It was like, I've never seen a hill so steep in my entire fucking life. I was like, Brad, like, I am literally going to kill you, like, in a non-joking manner.
Yeah. No, my wife and daughter both hate me too. Like they won't go hiking with me ever. Like
no, of course not. I'm never going hiking with you again, ever.
No one. I go with my dog. My dog's the only one who will go with me.
Yeah, you and your dog can have fun, and like I'm staying far fucking away from your psycho ass. It would be like you trying to keep up with me smoking weed or something like that.
That's right. That's right. Hiking is my weed. I don't know what I would do without it. I have to like climb a mountain every day, or I feel like a crazy person.
I have to smoke weed every day and not climb a mountain in order to be like not a crazy person.
You climb Weed Mountain.
That's true. I climb Weed Mountain every day, and
you reach the summit.
You ever watch like a documentary about like free climbers like that? There's that one really famous one.
Yeah, my buddy won an Oscar for it.
Oh, really? Well,
he produced it.
You can let him know that I watched that movie. Great movie. I highly recommend it.
It's called Free Solo.
Free Solo, exactly. And it's about this guy who, like, without ropes, without any protection, like, just scales a mountain that is just like
he climbs El Capitan in Yosemite.
Yeah, it is like literally 90 degrees, just like a wall. It's fucking psychotic. And I spent the entire movie being like, you fucking idiot! Why the fuck are you climbing this mountain? Your parents are going to be so sad when you die. You have a girlfriend. You have people who love you. I was I was like red in the face, furious watching this movie.
Yeah, I watched it. It's like incredibly, like it's an anxiety-inducing experience to watch this guy do this. It is infuriating.
It's a great movie, though. It really is.
It's beautifully shot. And like I will say that Alex Honnold, who is the name of that climber, I think might be the greatest living athlete, like Michael Jordan included, everyone included. Like nobody is on that. Nobody's on that dude's level. Like Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships. Who gives a fuck? This dude climbed like a 2,000-foot wall without ropes.
Well, at least Michael Jordan isn't a fucking crazy idiot. Sorry, at least he isn't a crazy fucking dumbass. Like, I'm sorry, it's like, oh, you died, like, climbing Mount Everest? Nobody asked you to fucking do that. That's so silly.
Yeah, I think, like, that's what I was just going to say, is that I don't understand people who need to climb Mount Everest. I don't understand people who need to, like, free climb El Cap.
Do drugs. I'm sorry. If you need to feel adrenaline, do cocaine. It's safer.
Yeah, stay on the ground and do cocaine.
It's safer. It's more fun. Other people can join you. You're not going to die if you tested for fentanyl. I mean, just do cocaine. That's my advice. If you feel like you need to free solo a mountain, try cocaine.
And I just like, it's not that I think rock climbing is cool. It's great if you want to be a climber. I think mountain climbing is cool. Yeah, have ropes. And like Mount Everest, so many people have died. It's very dangerous. B, like human beings have now trashed that mountain. Like it's
also,
just
when you climb Mount Everest, you see hundreds of dead bodies. The dead bodies are markers for how far you've gotten up Everest for people who are mountain climbers. I know somebody who climbed Mount Everest, came back, said it was the worst experience of his life, and he regretted it intensely, not because of the physical exertion, but because of how disturbing it was to see hundreds of dead bodies as you're climbing up the mountain.
You can. I thought, don't they get covered up by snow or something? Don't they? But
Not in the certain seasons.
yeah, when the
And also, like, there's lots of fresh bodies, even for the ones that are buried. People die all the time. They just keep piling up.
it's like when it's like kind of like too, like when William Shatner went to space, and it was like this. I think we might have even talked about this before. But when he went to space and then came back down and was like crying, like, why did I do that? I just wanted to be on Earth.
I mean, yeah, of course. People aren't supposed to, like, I have two very firm beliefs that I stand by, which is space and the ocean are none of my fucking business. And it shouldn't be anyone else's business either. The ocean, I understand in terms of an environmental standpoint. If you're studying it in that way, fine. Deep ocean, fucking scary ass things that are too deep in the ocean for people to ever be going there, leave them alone.
But wait, will you swim in the ocean?
Sure, I'll snorkel, I'll swim in the ocean, but like people getting like too involved in the ocean, like, no.
Like those motherfuckers who had that
yeah, the fucking billionaire who exploded.
Yeah, that is, and like, brought his child onto that thing. That poor kid must have just been like,
because like I don't feel bad for anybody on that boat besides the child.
Yeah, but it's like, thankfully, as I understand it, like a painless, instant, like implosion. Like the thing literally imploded from pressure.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the documentary about when they did it successfully? There's like a short documentary about when they used that thing the first time, like somewhat successfully, but then they had to go up to the surface early anyways. And it was so fucking scary. Like just in there with the fucking Xbox remote, no idea where the fuck he is. Like they're just like spinning for like an hour and he can't make them stop.
That's right. They had like an Xbox remote controlling that thing.
Literally.
Ugh. Just nightmarish. I can't believe you would voluntarily.
How could you be dumb enough?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's wild. Like, you really need to see the fucking Titanic wreckage like that badly? Like, who gives a fuck?
I don't care at all.
I couldn't care less. If there's video of the Titanic wreckage, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Send a drone down there. We don't need people down there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't fucking need people down there. And, like, if someone's gonna do it, just let it be James Cameron. Like, just let him do his thing or whatever. That he likes that shit and he's weird, fine. But, like, no one else should be allowed to even try it.
I want to say I saw something recently about how the Titanic wreckage is, like, not long for the ocean. Like, it's going to be gone. It's going to like deteriorate and like disintegrate essentially. It's like
already started deteriorating, I think, in a pretty significant way, which is partially why people wanted to go down and see it, I guess. But like, in the end, you're going to be on the bottom of the ocean, almost exploded and seeing trash. So
yeah, who gives a? I don't care at all. I'm not sentimental about the Titanic.
No, me neither. All those people deserve to die, and I'm happy that they. So
what's up? What's up in the popular culture that we need to analyze?
So popular culture, right? We were discussing Martha Stewart and Drew Barrymore.
Oh yeah, what happened? So like, because Drew Barrymore is like, her interview style. As a man who, is a professional interviewer, I have to say that Drew Barrymore's style is of interest to me. She's very touchy-feely.
That if you, Brad, ever did this, like, somebody would be like, this man is the scariest man I've ever interacted with. Do not go on his podcast. Because she's so touchy. She's like, She gets on the couch and she's like, I almost want to do an impression of it. Like, if you're watching, she gets on the couch, right? And she's like cross-legged like this and holds her hand like this. And she's like, tell me about what it's like to be you. What is it like to be you, Oprah? Like, it's so fucking weird.
Yeah, and she close talks too. She gets right up to your
like
face.
She's like, tell me, what was it like in your childhood? Dude, like, back the fuck off. Yeah. And I guess Martha Stewart felt the same way because during their interview, she wasn't like impolite about it, but she like put an arm out just to signal like, this is my personal space. Don't get into it.
Yeah, like, get out of my fucking face with your, just quit touching me.
Which I get. I don't want to be touched either. I'd be like, I'd feel really weird on TV with Drew Barrymore touching me that much. If I was on cocaine in a nightclub, I'd love it. On TV sober, I don't know.
So I have a Drew Barrymore story. And,
okay.
Mira and I we swore an oath to always divulge when we have had a celebrity sighting involving one of these celebrities that we're talking about. And I saw Drew Barrymore in the Whole Foods parking lot. The same Whole Foods, incidentally, where I saw Leo DiCaprio years ago. I've seen lots of celebrities there, actually. It's like a hangout.
Which
before Erewhon came along.
which Whole Foods?
It's the one in West Hollywood.
Okay, yeah. I once saw Vincent Gallo there, and I thought he was a homeless person.
Yeah. He has that look. He has that aesthetic.
Yeah, he really does. I was like, why is this homeless man so close to me in the grocery store?
Speaking of a homeless man, friend of mine.
This is a good one.
Yeah, friend of mine. This is how interesting Los Angeles is. Like, I have a couple of homeless guys in my neighborhood who are friends of mine who, if I'm being honest, I talk to them and hang out with them more than pretty much any guy friend that I have. Because
men are really generally fun to talk to or hang out with, so I do get that.
And yeah, I don't know who would want to hang out with guys, but I walk my dog. You know, I'm a very, you know, I have a routine. I got to walk the dog, get her out at night to make sure she gets to go do her business.
You go hiking. You have to eat your kale and your lentils.
That's
you have
right.
One half of a glass of wine if you're feeling wacky.
No, I'm off the booze entirely. I'm
wow.
Pure. Yeah, I'm pure.
Not even on election night, not to break our.
No, I raw dogged it. I did it totally sober.
You raw dogged it. That's crazy.
And it was awful. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that because that is against the rules.
That's right. So the homeless men in your neighborhood.
So talk to these guys all the time. One of them is. Did I tell you this? One of them is on Ozempic.
No.
I'm like, hey, like, you're looking good, man. Like, you look like you lost a ton of weight, because this guy's got like a big belly, and he's like, yeah, I'm on Ozempic. And
how?
Because he's diabetic, and he's got a doctor who prescribed it to him.
Oh, it's on his insurance.
Yeah, he's got insurance.
I mean, he's got Medi-Cal, right? So.
Yeah, or whatever, you know. And then this other guy, buddy of mine, he is like real handsome, a handsome guy, and he's like, get to talking to him over the years and find out that he's an actor, or formerly an actor. And it's like, it took me a long time of talking to him to get that information. And then one day he just starts divulging to me all these stories about how, he was an actor. He was married to like a famous TV star, and he and Drew Barrymore used to be friends, and they used to date and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay, I'm in Los Angeles, and this guy's telling me this.
Lying, right?
He very easily could be lying. You sort of reflexively think to yourself, like, this is bullshit. This guy might be.
I've heard crazy stories from homeless people too, where I'm like, okay, that's, and it's just like clearly not true or whatever.
Right. So I get his name, like his full name, and I go home and Google, and sure enough, it's true. It's all fucking true.
But it's so fucking funny. He did date Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, I mean, hang it, like they were like pals.
Buddies.
He knew everybody. Wow. He knew everybody. And
who was the famous TV star that he dated?
Oh, he was married, and I'm gonna blank on it. It was like on like one of these shows that was on like the WB back in like the early. He was
married to a famous TV star, and now he's homeless. What about his fucking divorce checks?
I mean, I think maybe those have gone to like, drugs or whatever. I don't fucking know, but he's bi-coastal. He spends half of his time in Los Angeles and the other half in New York City.
I gotta be honest, that doesn't really sound like he's spending all his money on drugs.
Well, I mean,
sounds like he's spending it on being bi-coastal a little bit.
Well, I mean, he'll scrounge up enough cash to like get like a train ticket or a plane ticket, but he lives entirely on the streets.
He doesn't have a car or anything?
No.
That's fucking crazy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's on Ozempic. He's like 50 pounds down in like 3 months.
Same guy?
No.
Two different guys. Okay.
This guy like is super handsome. He's like, he seems really fit. He's really skinny, and bi-coastal.
There's a really beautiful, beautiful, attractive homeless man who stands outside the In-N-Out by my house and has like.
I feel like we talked about this already. Did we talk about this? Am I having a flashback?
A cadre of older ladies who just like are always around him, giving him food and being like, "Hi, how's it going?"
Yeah. We talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a good thing going.
So anyway, I know one of Drew Barrymore's friends. I mean, I think it's obviously like a tragic story. I bet she would be sad.
I'm sure.
I'm sure she knows. I think that a lot of them know that he's been on the streets, because when I Googled him, there's like a story in the New York Post all about him and how he's on the streets. So
it's like he was a famous actor or something before that, or was like
yeah. I mean, it's like there's a whole thing and people trying to help him out, but
that's wild.
Yeah. So anyway, but Drew Barrymore, getting in people's faces, touchy-feely.
Martha was not having it.
Martha was not having it. I feel like Martha's got this kind of like regal, like dry humor sort of like energy, and Drew is very earnest.
Yeah,
and
don't touch Martha. That should be like known. She's there. She's got an aura about her. Don't touch her.
Yeah, it's like you're not supposed to turn your back to the queen, right? Like it's like protocol. But
there's a level of respect there.
I feel like Drew Barrymore is probably a nice person, maybe a little kooky, but like seems like an earnest, kind person.
I've always really thought that she seemed like a cool person. Like, I feel like she seems like a nice, like, generally, like, considering also like what her whole life has been, like, pretty normal, all things considered, like not a total wreck, which is like very impressive.
Very impressive. Yeah, she didn't have an easy childhood at all.
No, not even a little bit. And like, she's always seemed cool to me. I like her. I feel like she's like a little bit intense and touchy now, but you know, I can forget that. That's fine.
I don't touch people when I'm talking to them.
That's
like
as
not
a
for the
man,
podcast.
Generally speaking, as a man, if it's not like your wife, don't touch her when you're talking to her, unless she's like your very close friend, maybe. But like, yeah, smart.
Yeah, like rubbing like their back or something. That's kind of strange.
No, women, like someone's shoulder, maybe, like just like, you know, like a little like like not like anything. Like that's like as far as I'll go in terms of like touching another person that I'm having a conversation with.
Maybe we should do this show in person, Mira. Like we can just like hold hands and like just
really
talk.
Earnestly be like, Brad, Martha Stewart would not let Drew Barrymore touch her. How do you feel about it?
Brad, tell me about the handsome homeless man.
The homeless man. He's on Ozempic? Please, tell us.
How much weight has he lost, Brad? Are you jealous of his physique?
Brad, we need you to be America's dad right now.
Trying so hard to be America's dad.
Dear God, America does not need a dad.
Yeah.
No one needs a dad.
What does America need? America needs a lot, but we're not supposed to talk about America because that would be
we don't talk about important things on this show.
That's right. This show is about nothing.
This show is about nothing. Okay, so speaking of which, another thing that's about absolutely nothing. So, Brad, do you know who Olivia Munn and John Mulaney are?
I sure do. I know those guys.
You know them, okay? So
I mean, I don't know them personally, but I'm a fan of. I'm particularly a fan of John Mulaney's comedy. I think he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he does really do comedy that dads love.
I think moms of my age range.
Love. I think that's true. Yeah, I think dads and moms around your age love it. I mean, it's, you know, I've enjoyed his comedy before. It's fine.
I'll say this. I saw his recent SNL monologue. I didn't think it was his best. I thought the one he did before that, when he was just out of rehab, was really good. I
didn't listen to either one, I don't think. But I have liked his stand-up routines in the past. Like, he's funny.
I think the one, like, what is it called? Baby John or Baby Johnny or whatever his stand-up special was. It was all about him getting sober. Like, it's actually, like, really personal and good. I liked it. Yeah,
that one was pretty good. It was, like, it was funny, but it was, like, more, like, interesting or something and sad in parts. Like, it was, like, it was stand-up, but it was also just, like, whoa, you were like a drug addict. Like, okay, I see.
But he doesn't, I mean, I know that these kinds of problems can come in all shapes and sizes, but he's such like a preppy dude. He never really presented as like a fucking crazy drug addict. He seemed like a guy who had his shit together.
Which is, I think, why everybody was like so shocked by it. And it was like such a thing, is like he had such a like nice, not on cocaine image before this, that like it'd be like, you know, like it'd be less shocking if like, okay, like, Dave Chappelle is doing cocaine. Yeah, fair, fine. But like John Mulaney really didn't seem like the type to be on cocaine all the time.
Yeah, but there he was. He was like really hardcore, and you know.
Yeah, and sometime around then he divorced his wife of many years, and which resulted in one of the very few cases of a male celebrity getting slut shamed. Which, you know, we love that.
Was he a slut?
Well, he was slut shamed because, or, you know, slut shamed. I'm kind of joking, but he left his wife and pretty much immediately started dating Olivia Munn.
Right.
And impregnated Olivia Munn like right away. And so people were like, what the fuck? You left your wife and you like impregnated Olivia Munn, like, you bastard, kind of. But this story that we have here is about how Olivia Munn began randomly drug testing John Mulaney while 6 months pregnant.
Because they have 2 babies now, but this was when she was 6 months pregnant with the first one,
With
right?
the first baby, yeah. And she said although they weren't even officially dating at the time, which is wild because she was 6 months pregnant.
What do you call that?
I don't what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's really insane. So I guess she staged a mini intervention and started giving him drug tests around 6 months, which is they said that he's sober, but she started giving him drug tests. But if they had to have an intervention, I feel like he wasn't sober. See, Munn said of the post-rehab period, it was like watching a man in a tsunami. I was watching someone newly sober at the edge of a cliff, and I didn't know how to help him well enough. So she started randomly drug testing him? I just, maybe this is problematic of me to say, but I kind of feel like if you can't trust your husband to go through his own recovery, then he doesn't want to go through recovery, and that's something that you should probably deal with before randomly drug testing him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
Because if he doesn't want to get sober, he's not going to get sober.
That I would agree with. The person who needs to get sober has to want to.
Yeah, and this is saying her efforts paid off, and Mulaney has been sober ever since the drug tests. And she still drug tests him, even though they got married in July. And John Mulaney says that the drug tests give him a sense of relief. He says, I like to be able to not even have that be a question in her or anyone else's mind. Something about peeing in that cup is I'm walking this walk. It gives me confidence.
Do you think that Olivia Munn watches him pee in the cup just to make sure he's not using somebody else's pee?
I mean, if she was, if she really meant it, maybe.
She should.
Because based on his fucking stand-up routine, that is probably something that he would do.
Well, I mean, any hardcore drug addict,
yeah.
you're gonna give him a cup and let him go in the bathroom by himself and do this.
You can buy fake pee online. It's easy.
Yeah. You need some pee? I'll get you some pee.
Yeah, Brad has just perfectly clean pee for anyone who wants it. It is for sale.
I got a freezer full of pee if you need pee. I mean, that's
you
easy.
could sell that to some people for a good amount of money.
Yeah, I'm so pure. I don't do anything anymore. If you need pee out there, I'll sell you my pee.
See, and then this is saying, well, things worked out in the end. Olivia Munn admitted that she barely knew John Mulaney when she found out that she was pregnant with their first child, and it wasn't anything close to dating. So She was pregnant with their child and they were not dating. And she was like, I'm going to keep it.
I love how chaotic this is. And they're kind of in love and now they're married and they have 2 kids.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know what? If they're in love, then I absolutely support the craziness. But I got to say that hearing about her randomly drug testing him does not give me a lot of confidence in their love and marriage.
I don't know. It's so difficult to be with somebody, I would imagine, who's struggling really hard with substance and isn't free of it,
But he is now, apparently, according to the drug tests.
I would hope so with these 2 babies. I mean, I don't know. I got to say, he seems like a decent fellow who wants to do the right thing. He's just got a fucking illness.
Yeah, I mean, that seems right to me. And just knowing people who were addicts my whole life and still is they would need to want to get sober, and then you can support them in that. Otherwise they're not going to get sober. And random drug tests to me seems more of an enforcement mechanism than a helping mechanism, which doesn't seem great for a partner to do. If I was with somebody and I felt the need to randomly drug test them every 6 months, I would be going to further lengths than drug testing them every now and then.
I look forward to Tyler making you pee in a cup once you quit weed.
Oh yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Are you going to go the distance? You'll be smoking weed. You're going to be smoking weed when you're a 75-year-old lady.
Oh, I more meant it's never going to happen that I get drug tested. If Tyler told me to pee in a cup, I would pee in a cup and then I would throw it on him.
Oh man, I don't know.
That's divorce territory. I would be you want me to piss in a cup? All right, I'm going to fucking piss on you, and then I'm going to go move into my parents' house.
I think if you're asking your partner to drug test, I think she's watching him pee in the cup. I think it's a whole thing. Because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, right. Otherwise, what's the point? It's true.
That's got to be like kind of humiliating to pee in a cup in front of somebody.
Yeah, and I think John Mulaney is like out here being like, actually, I like it. Actually, it's giving me confidence because
Wait,
it's
what did he say? What's the quote again? I'm
hold
walking
on.
this walk.
The quote is let me find it. Oh my
I'm
god,
peeing in this cup.
I'm walking this walk. I'm peeing in the cup.
Yeah. Somebody should
Um,
make like a TikTok song out of that. I'm walking this walk. I'm peeing in this cup.
I'm walking this peeing in this cup. He said, it gives him a sense of relief. He likes to be able to have that not even be a question in her or anybody else's mind. Something about peeing in that cup is like, I'm walking this walk. It gives me confidence.
Well, you know what? Whatever works. And like, if you're proving it, you're proving your sobriety to your significant other, who's like probably, yeah, who's like nervous and like is just having babies and like adjusting to new motherhood and worried that you're going to fall off the wagon.
Like, that's fine, but also I think there needs to be like a balance there where it's like, okay, you actually don't get to like watch every single thing that I do and make me pee in a cup all the time. There's got to be trust at some point.
Just bring the kids in, make them watch daddy pee in the cup.
Everyone's peeing in a cup. It's a family event.
That's right.
We got all the kids peeing in cups. Olivia's peeing in cups. Everyone's peeing in a cup.
That's right. Everybody pees in a cup. Everybody goes to bed.
Peeing time, kids. Let's go upstairs.
That's right. That's right. Sippy cup.
Yeah, right. Exactly. A little sippy cup of pee. Dear God.
I didn't know. I guess they do have home drug testing. I mean, if they can do home COVID testing, they can do. But is it like, do you know what kind of drug? Or are you testing for a specific drug?
You can buy that shit at CVS and it will come up with like a whole list of like THC, like cocaine, like whatever. It's like they've got the whole thing.
Have you ever done one?
No. But I know that it would be like insane. Like, it would be like, you have so much THC, you're literally dead. Like, how are you not literally dead?
That's right. It would just light up whatever it does.
It reminds me of that one scene in Broad City where one of them has to like do a drug test for a job, and she's clearly going to show up with like a bunch of THC in her blood, and so she gets the other one to pee in a cup for her, and the other one's like, mine isn't clean either, like I'm also smoking weed, and she's like, yeah, but like at least it's not like insane, you know what I mean? Like, that would be me. I'd be getting like pee from somebody else who also smokes weed just so it seems like less weed.
Like Mira's pee could get you high.
Yeah,
like that,
probably.
It's like the THC content is so over the top.
Also, like THC stays in your blood for like 3 months, and so like I've been smoking weed for so long, I bet it would take like 10 years for it to all get out of my system.
Yeah, so you're stuck with it for a while.
I'd have to be in a heat lodge for like a year straight to get it out of my system.
What's your daily intake? Do you have a sense?
I mean, I don't like keep track of like milligrams, and it's like probably like more on stressful days or whatever. But like I'll like take an edible to sleep, and like a strong edible, like take a strong edible once it hits like nighttime, like once it gets dark, basically. Sometimes I'll be stoned during the day if it's like a weekend and I'm just chilling, but I'll smoke a few joints throughout the day also. But I'll take like 100 milligram edible a day easily. Jesus
Christ. And you don't feel high, or do you feel high?
No, I feel high for sure, but I don't feel like I can't talk or move, or like I appear pretty normal. Well, no, I appear stoned. My eyes get really stone looking, but like I'm not like incoherent or anything like that.
Yeah, you can like function. I'd be I've told you this. I can't do that. It's inconceivable to me. 100 milligrams.
When I worked for Snoop, I would do that and more every day, and I was still like the best employee in the place.
Well, I can only imagine what the like 360 reviews are like at Snoop Dogg's company. Like, I mean, so fucking exuded.
When you're with Snoop, he forces you to smoke his blunt. Like, you don't get to turn down Snoop's blunt. He'll be like, "Here's a blunt," and you'll be like, "I'm okay," and he'll just elbow you, and you're like, "Okay, fine, I'll take the blunt, Snoop. Sorry." Like, it's like, what? Wasn't there a story recently? I don't know if we talked about it, about how Snoop had to hire somebody to help like monitor the intake of weed of people around him, like, cause Snoop was just getting everybody way too high, and then his team was like useless, and then like celebrities who met him were like, "I'm so scared," and so he has like people around him to be like, "You don't have to accept that," or like, "I'll take the blunt, Snoop," like, or whatever.
I would never survive. I wouldn't last a day like at Snoop's company.
I mean, it's how I know that like I can smoke any grown man under the table, is because I could match Snoop 1 for 1 easily.
What do you attribute it to?
Genes, natural tendency towards mental illness. I mean, I personally like if I'm having like a panic attack, for example, I'll go for weed before I go for Xanax because I know that weed is better for me. And if I can just use that instead of Xanax, then like it's better. And it usually works, which is not normal for most people. But
Yeah,
like,
weed gives people panic attacks.
yeah, but for me, like I'll smoke weed and I'll be like, okay, like I'm feeling a little bit better, a little bit more like grounded or something like that. Like I think there are people, and I think I'm one of them, where it's like their brain is just like this all over the place constantly, and they smoke weed and they're like, okay, now I can focus on this, and then this, and then this, instead of being like, I'm focusing all over the place. Like, that's the only way I know how to describe it.
Wow, it's magical. Well, I'm glad that John Mulaney and Olivia Munn are happy and having babies. And
Do you think Olivia Munn lets him smoke weed? Like, gives him a pass for weed?
No way. Somebody like that, I feel like he's got to be, it's like all or nothing with people who are truly struggling.
I think like weed is actually a strange case for some, because for most people, I think that's definitely the case. Is like, you just can't touch anything. You're just like, when you struggle with that, it's like anything is a potential like bridge to something worse. But when I worked at a dispensary when I was like 18, I worked with this guy who was like a former really intense heroin addict. He had scars and stuff like for years and years and years. And then he started smoking weed, and he was sober for like 30 years, just smoking a ton of weed.
Like California sober. It's like Willie Nelson. Like Willie Nelson stopped drinking.
Yeah.
But he just smokes a ton of weed and seems fine. You know,
I think that's why he's so fucking old. It's like weed is the only drug that he really partakes in. Yeah.
I mean, you know, and it keeps him like, he's kind of like you. It probably keeps him steady.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think like for Snoop, I can like actually literally confirm when he is not stoned, he is annoying. He is fucking loud. He won't stop talking to people. He won't stop jumping from subject to subject. He will like find a stranger and he will talk to you, who even a fan. He'll find a fan and talk to them to the point where they're like, oh my God, I need to get away from Snoop Dogg right now. Like, he needs weed.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny that Snoop's annoying when he's sober.
He's like, he talks so fast. He talks so like much. He'll talk over everybody. He'll jump from thing to thing in a way where it's like, you cannot get him to sit down for 1 second. Like, it's why, like, anytime we went anywhere, we would have to have blunts prepared for him, because otherwise it would be like, he's not functioning. This is like not gonna work. Were
you his blunt girl? Like, would you be holding the little like case of blunts?
No, his blunt guy was a guy named Kyle, who was like a tall white guy who would have a little fanny pack full of blunt stuff, and was like truly, I'm truly skilled at rolling blunts, but he could do it without any surface. He would just hold the blunt in his hand and put the weed in and just do it like that, which is pretty crazy. I would have to roll the blunts when Kyle wasn't there, because I was the only other one in the office who could roll them as nicely and in the way that Snoop wanted to, which is like, he likes the most difficult to roll blunts that exist. So sometimes I would have people come in and be like, here's a giant bag of weed, here's a bunch of blunts, like, Snoop's gonna be here in 15 minutes, we need blunts.
That's such a fun. That's the professional environment that nurtured you.
Yeah, truly.
It's where you cut your teeth.
I mean, it's I guess it's kind of where I cut my teeth in terms of like being really sassy and intense to the CEO and negging him into giving me a much higher position than I was originally at. That is what kind of taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
gotta stand up for yourself, Mira.
Yeah, well stoned, you know. I was just like, I want $80,000 and I want to be the editor-in-chief. And they were like, no. And I was like, bet, I'm going to be in here for 2 hours. I'm really annoying.
I feel like with your iconic, weed intake, like your like prodigious ability to smoke, like enough weed to kill a horse. I feel like you should braid your hair and wear a bandana like Willie Nelson. I feel like that should be your aesthetic. Like
I have to say that in high school, I did not wear any hairstyle besides 2 really long braids. Any photo of me in high school, 2 braids, always.
Always. Like Willie. Maybe as you get older, are you going to dye your hair when you get older, or are you going to let it go gray?
I think it depends on how young I start going gray. Like, I've been very lucky in my family in that most people in my family started going gray at like 20. And like, I just found my first gray hair like a couple weeks ago. So I've been lucky in that way. But if it's like
Is my hair gray? Is it, would you call my hair gray?
Yes, Brad.
Is it? Right.
Your hair is 100% gray. You have like hair dysmorphia. If you're not seeing that, I'm so sorry.
I feel like my hair's brown. I'm convinced that it's brown.
You feel like your hair's brown?
No.
Do you feel like your hair's blonde?
It depends. No, it's a mixture is what I would say, but gray is definitely beginning to predominate. Let's just say
mixture
that.
of what? Gray and gray.
Of gray and light gray.
Gray and light gray. I see. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So in that case, it is a mixture.
God, I'm fucking old. It happens.
I mean, Brad, you're 65. You know, you don't look a day over 60. It's not bad.
It just happens so fast. Something on the downslide.
You're gonna be a grandparent soon enough, you know?
Headed for the abyss.
Headed for the abyss, Jesus Christ. You're I'm headed for the abyss. You're a homeowner.
Yeah. At least I'm not like peeing in a cup.
That's true. You could if you wanted to, though.
I could. Maybe
you
I'm gonna
submit drug tests to your wife just like for fun, even though she doesn't want them.
It's not even a drug test. Just like, here, I peed in a cup for
Here
you.
you go. She's like, what the fuck are you doing?
This is what John and Olivia do. This is the new thing.
It's romantic.
That's right. This is part of me.
This is part of me. So, okay. So our next story concerns our favorite Brad aged guy who dates 20-year-olds.
He's older than I am.
Oh yeah, he is older. So Leonardo DiCaprio had his 50th birthday this weekend. It appears that he had multiple parties.
I think he had two. He had like a blowout at and then he had some sort of like private party at his house or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So
then he had a party at this place called Stella in West Hollywood. I've never even heard of it. I don't know what.
I don't even know what that is. And he had a 4-hour hang with the likes of Tobey Maguire, Evan Ross, and Joel Egerton. Who the fuck is Evan Ross?
Tobe. I don't know.
Oh, related to Diana Ross. I see.
Oh, okay.
He's Diana Ross's grandson.
Jesus.
He's
What? How does he know? How does he know? How does he know?
An actor.
Okay.
Because like his mom is Tracy Ellis Ross, who was on Blackish and a bunch of other stuff. So I assume he's an actor or something. Oh, he's like married to somebody who's famous, I think. Who is he married to? He's married to Ashley Simpson.
Wow. All right.
Weirdly. And I guess he's friends with Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know. I know who Joel Egerton is. I like him.
Who is he?
He's like a actor, director guy.
All right.
You'd probably recognize him. I don't know. He's pretty good. But I guess he had like a big ass birthday with like probably a bunch of people who are way too young for him to be hanging out with, and his child bride.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about his. Remember, we talked about his dinner with her parents in Rome.
Right. Jesus Christ.
I feel like that's got to be stressful to host all those people. I guess somebody does everything for him. He just shows up.
Yeah, it's not stressful if you just like pay for it. Like just pay for, and also like not even at his house, just at a restaurant. You know, he just like goes there, pays a bunch of money, and hangs out, and then leaves.
My 50th birthday is next summer. What are we going to do, Mira?
Wow, are you really turning 50 next summer?
Listi at 50.
Listi at 50. We're gonna have to do a live stream is what we're gonna have to do. Like we're gonna have to do a little party in your back house with like a Big Brother style camera that's just live streaming the whole thing, and people can like zoom in and like watch different people depending. Yeah,
just I'm gonna invite all of my celebrity author friends.
There will be like 5 of us with body cams, just like
Mira's gonna dose me with 100 milligrams of THC. I'm gonna have a panic attack, think I'm dying.
Brad's going to be like, am I turning 50 or am I dying?
I'm dying. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll go on a psychedelic journey for my 50th.
That sounds fun. We should go see fish and take mushrooms.
That's a lot.
I had some LSD, some good LSD.
I told you my story about seeing fish and like thinking I was taking like a little bit of mushrooms, like just like a teeny tiny bit, like just to make the music sound cooler.
Was this recent?
This was a couple years ago.
Okay.
And I had ridden my bike up to the Hollywood Bowl because I can't stand traffic. And I'm the kind of person who would ride to the Hollywood Bowl on his bike.
Yeah. Which is like all uphill, by the way.
Yeah. It's like, but when you go home, it's all downhill. And it's like so fun because you're like, on mushrooms, just flying down through Hollywood, like running through red lights. And I was with my buddy Noah, and he's like, here, take this chocolate. And I'm like, all right. And I mean, it was objectively speaking, like less than a square. Like it was a tiny little bit of chocolate that I took.
You never know, though.
I could barely stand up. I was so fucked up. It was one of the best concerts of my life. Because I mean, I was like, we were like in the 10th row, like the best seats in the house at the Hollywood Bowl, like just like way down there, like right in front of the band. And I mean, I thought my brain was going to melt. Like I had ridden my bike. I could not ride my bike home. I had to walk it home. It was like I was using a walker, but I had my bike, and I was just.
That is so funny. You had to walk your bike home.
I could not physically ride. And then I stopped because I was starving. And there's like this weird bodega in Hollywood, like the grittiest. It was so gross, but I was like, I'm so hungry. And I went in, and there was like one like terrible, like gelatinous piece of pizza in like the glass case. And I was like, I'll take it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, it was like
mushrooms is already kind of fucking scary. Like,
yeah. And so then I go outside, and I'm literally like so hungry. I sit down next to my bike on the concrete, like maybe on like a step, but like just literally like I slide down the face of the building, and I'm just like sitting on the ground, like eating this piece of pizza. And all of a sudden I hear like, excuse me, what are you doing? And like I look up, and there's like a dude and like he's with two girls, and they're kind of wasted too. And they're like, he's like, why are you sitting in front of the door? And I look, and I'm like literally sitting right in front of the door of the bodega on the fucking concrete. It's like midnight, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm a middle-aged man. Like, what am I doing? I got up and I got on my bike and like rode home in shame.
that is so fucking funny. Honestly, like being a little bit less high than you and seeing you that high would be so funny for me. I would like, it would be the funniest thing to like watch while being high.
I'll tell you this. I'm past the age where it's maybe funny. It might have been like sad, but I think like
me knowing you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to put an age limit on anything, but I think like there does get to be a point
for certain things.
Yeah, it does get to be a point where you're like, what am I doing? Like I'm almost
don't
50.
Do cocaine after age 45. I think you're good.
Yeah. I mean, but I think when you go to one of these like Fish concerts or like these Dead and Company concerts, there's so many people who are like 60 and they're still going for it like they're 25, and it's just
good for them. Whatever, they're having fun.
But it's like
music. That's nice.
It is. Listen, I'm not immune to the nostalgia, but like I will say that it's like, people look like they're really hurting.
Yeah, I mean, you're approaching 60, so like that's gonna be you soon.
Oh, thanks, Mira. Thanks for letting me know.
Brad's not approaching 60, folks, by the way.
But it'll be here soon. It'll be here. I mean, 10 years is not, 11 years is not that far off.
I mean, it was like yesterday that you were interviewing me on the literary podcast when I was 19. So, here we are, 32 years old, and I'm just as insane as I've always been.
So wait, that's 13 years ago? Is that right?
19.
I was in my 30s, early 30s, early 30s when I met you.
You were in your early 30s when you met me? You were my age when you met me?
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. What the fuck? We got old. Folks, we got old. Brad and I got old, and it was an accident. We didn't mean to.
Mira, you are not old, but yeah. Things.
I'm getting there, though,
You are. It'll happen to you, too. I mean, like, look, when I was 32, I was like, oh, I got all the time in the world. Now I'm like, it just goes so fast. You'll be my age in a second.
Yeah, when you were 32, you got all the time in the world. By the time you're 34, you're like, wow, I'm going for the 19-year-old. What happened to me? I'm like...
Mira, before you know it, you're going to be so high eating a terrible piece of pizza on the concrete
after a Fish concert.
That's right. You'll be sitting on the filthy sidewalk eating a diseased pizza.
I got to be honest. I feel like I'm already too old for a Grateful Dead concert. Like I already don't have like the energy or like the stamina or the like. I'm too old. Like I'm too old.
Yeah, I think like you would have to, if you're going to do it, you have to. I think you do have to take psychedelics.
I certainly would never do it sober. Going to somewhere where John Mayer is playing an instrument sober would be like psychotic of me.
He's so charming, that John Mayer.
I met him, as we have to say, I met him once at a party. I was introduced to him via a mutual friend of ours who was like, John, this is Mira. Mira's a poet. And I was like, fuck, Jesus, why'd you introduce me like that? That's embarrassing.
Thanks, asshole.
Like, oh, fucking Jesus, you're an asshole. Like, and like John Mayer, like, talk about close talker. It was like, he was right here. He's like, so you're a poet, huh? what kind of poetry do you write? For those who don't know, I just got really close.
How long ago was this? Like, was this pre-dead John Mayer? Like pre-Grateful Dead?
Pre-dead John Mayer. It was like post-Bodies of Wonderland, pre-dead. I want to say like 2013, 2012, maybe, something like that.
All right, yeah.
And like, he was really tall, like much taller than me. So it was like, he had to like, it was more like this. He had to look down, right? And then he was like, so you're a poet, huh? And like, he had this smell that was not like BO exactly, but kind of, but it was like,
it's because he's using like that natural deodorant, probably.
Yeah. It was like a natural deodorant smell combined with like some kind of horrific essential oils situation. And like, I literally had to be like, okay, I've got to go over there now. See ya. Like, and like left. And like, when I was introduced to him, I was single at the time. I was like, okay, I might be down for John Mayer. For like 2 minutes. And I was like, I need to get away from this man.
I don't know. The thing is, he's a very, very gifted guitar player. He's amazing. But
I mean, yeah, lots of people are gifted guitar players and also smell bad and talk too close to your face.
I don't understand the whole like natural deodorant, essential oil thing. Like, just put on the chemicals. Like, protect the rest of us from whatever smell you're emitting.
I mean, some people like naturally smell less than other people, in which case, like, whatever, but just don't smell. If you smell with natural deodorant, use fucking the chemical shit. Like, just do it.
Just don't smell. Like, that's the rule.
Yeah, just don't smell. You're an adult. There's no reason to smell. Do not smell. If I can smell somebody, that's a problem. Whether it's a perfume smell or a BO smell, like, it's an issue.
I don't want to smell you at all. I don't want anything.
I don't want to smell you. I do not. Like, the only way I should be smelling somebody is if I am being intimate with them. If that is my husband, okay, fine. Maybe I can smell their shampoo or whatever the fuck my husband smells. But like, whatever. Besides that, no. And even then, people should smell like soap and nothing else, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, smell like soap. How does that, go for that? Go for that.
You can smell like soap, or you can smell like nothing. And those are your two options as an adult. And anything else is like entirely unacceptable.
Or my Sauvage cologne.
Your what?
You know those Johnny Depp commercials for like the Dior Sauvage?
Oh my God, yes.
Who did I see? I saw some comedian, I forget who it was, where they were making fun of those commercials, and they're like, does anybody really want to smell like Johnny Depp? Like,
he seems like the most like openly bad smelling actor I can think of.
Yeah, if you like, Johnny Depp's definitely on the natural deodorant train for sure. Like,
he's on like the no deodorant train. He's on the like, I drank a bunch of whiskey last night and woke up and I'm so drunk I don't know how I smell.
Yeah, let me smoke a clove and talk like Keith Richards.
God, I fucking hate that guy so much. What a fucking dumbass.
I don't know though. I'm less of like a uniformly anti-Johnny. Like, I think like I've heard too many stories from a friend of mine about how nice he is to kids and
Not
like
even.
fans.
Okay, I'm going to keep the story as anonymous as possible. I knew somebody who briefly, many, many, many years ago, dated one of Johnny Depp's children. And that person, while they were dating one of Johnny Depp's children, got a phone call from Johnny Depp while I was with them. And Johnny Depp was like the drunkest person I've ever heard on a phone, just slurring his words, just like, oh my God, this person is so clearly drunk, screaming at my friend, saying things like, and I'm not trying to reveal genders here, saying things like, did you fuck them? Have you guys fucked? Like, do not fuck them. Don't fucking touch them. Like, just the grossest shit I've like ever heard somebody say, like, to like a potential suitor of their child. Like, not just like treat her well, like treat them well, like gross shit.
Johnny, pee in the cup, Johnny.
You're dating my kid? I need you to pee in 4 cups right now.
Johnny, just give us the sample, Johnny.
We're not even going to test it. We just want to keep it. We just want it for fun.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I mean, these people all have substance abuse issues, and it's like, I know
lots of people with substance abuse issues who do not become abusive to their wives and girlfriends.
That's right. But didn't he? Yeah, I don't know. I can't litigate that shit. It's just also dirty. I did watch some of that documentary about the Johnny Depp trial because I was like scrolling through Netflix and got sucked in.
Yeah, I watched that too.
And I was like, well, I think they were kind of peas in a pod. They're both a little kooky.
Yeah, kind of. But also, like, he hit and she hit back, and I think there's a difference there. Like, hitting is one thing. Hitting back when someone is hitting you is different.
So wait, he hit first, though?
Yeah.
All right. That's not good.
And, like, she hit back, like, intensely. Like, she really fucking hurt him, but, like, you know.
Didn't she cut his finger off?
Not off, but, like, she hit him with a bottle when he was, like, trying to strangle her, and his part of his finger was,
Did she poop on his bed or something?
That's what they claimed, but there's been, like, no evidence of it, except that there is evidence that he himself has pooped his bed many times, and that the dogs also often poop the bed.
He's pooped his bed a lot? Because he's so drunk? If you poop while you're, like, blackout drunk, that's like when you're close to death.
Yeah, he's doing that all the time.
Oh, God.
He's close to death all the time.
Just at a certain point, you're too old. It's like, what are you doing? You pooping yourself while you're so drunk? You're 60 years old? Like,
you know, there's an age where it's okay to poop yourself. Like,
yeah,
you know, 20s, if you're pooping yourself, it's like, all right, you know, you're figuring it out.
Yeah, your 20s are a time for pooping your bed. But
20s are the time for discovering who you are and pooping yourself.
I had a friend in college who I think, like, hooked up with a girl who was so drunk and, like, woke up and he had pooped the bed with the girl in the bed. And
oh my God.
Yeah, she, like, got up and was like, I'm out of here. You're disgusting.
Luckily, it was his bed. If it was her bed, I'd be like, I mean, if a guy pooped in my bed, like, I would do something that ends me up on the local news. Like, I don't know. Like, it would be, like, bad.
I have another friend. You want to hear a funny story?
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, this is years ago. So, like, and it was, like, age appropriate, like late 20s probably. Mm-hmm. And he was out on Cinco de Mayo and just, like, drinking way too much tequila, just fucking shit-faced on tequila. And he ends up meeting some girl. She's, like, similarly drunk, and they go back to her place and sleep together. And he wakes up at, like, you know, it's like 6 a.m, one of those, like, drunk wake ups where it's just like crack of dawn. You wake up, you don't even know where the fuck you are. You're like, am I in her apartment? Like, who is this person, kind of thing? But he wakes up in her bed and realizes that he has peed the bed. And he's, like, mortified. He's like, oh my God, I peed the bed. And so he, like, sneaks. He sneaks out of bed and, like, tiptoes into the kitchen. And he's, like, panicking because he's like, this girl's going to find out that I, you know, peed her bed. She's going to, like, tell it, you know, who knows? It's just like, it's not going to go well for me. So he starts, like, frantically, like, pacing, trying to think of what to do. I think he's, like, probably wearing boxer shorts, if anything.
Probably still drunk. Like.
Yeah. Oh, he's hammered. And he ends up in her laundry room and he finds a bucket and he fills the bucket up with water and he goes back into her room and he throws the bucket of water on her while she's sleeping. And she wakes up and sits up in bed soaking and she's like, what the fuck? And he starts playing it off like he was still in, like, party fiesta mode. And, like, because he wanted to cover up the pee. It's the most ingenious thing I've ever heard in my life. And he's like, Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Mayo.
I've ever heard in my life. That is so insane. I thought you were going to say, like, he went to the kitchen, made coffee, pretended that he was coming in with 2 cups of coffee, spilled the coffee on the pee spot. Oops. Yeah. That'd be a much more reasonable thing to do. A bucket of water. That's like almost worse than someone just peeing your bed, is being woken up with a fucking bucket of water being poured on you.
I think she kicked him out. I think I don't think he didn't stick around much longer, but I don't think she ever found out. Maybe she did, but I think maybe he was able to, like, get out of the whole I peed your bed thing.
Well, if you ever pee the bed, you guys, there's a good technique for you.
That's I mean, you have to, like, respect. Yeah, I do respect the rapid fire strategic thinking while drunk. Like, that's pretty impressive.
I just, in about 2 seconds, came up with a much better idea.
Yeah, but you're only on 100 milligrams of THC, so let's be fair here.
That's true. That's a fair point.
This is Mira sober, essentially. She's
yeah, basically.
She's only on her 3rd joint of the day.
yeah, this is only my 300th milligram of weed, so I'm like, not really feeling it yet.
I feel like if you spill coffee on someone's bed, though, you sort of ruin their bed. Like at least the water and the pee, like it'll come out, whatever.
I mean, or pretend you're getting a glass of water, spill it on the bed. Like it doesn't have to be a bucket.
Yeah. How embarrassing to, I mean, pee
I
the
mean,
bed.
he covered it up with another very strange thing to do.
So Leo turned 50. All these celebrities showed up. Everybody's old, and everybody just raised a glass to him, and that's it.
And they were like, "You're old as fuck. You've got a 25-year-old girlfriend. You're here."
Yeah, you're like the last actor that mattered ever in the history of the world.
I guess.
I mean, right? Like, I don't know. They always say this, though. I think Ethan Hawke just did a documentary about Paul Newman called The Last Movie Star. There's always the last of everything, right?
Yeah, and it's never actually the last of the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's time for Brad Learns.
Brad Learns.
Brad Learns. Brad Learns.
So, what is Brad learning about today?
I want to know who Machine Gun Kelly is.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I don't totally know, but I do know that Megan Fox is pregnant and expecting a baby with Machine Gun Kelly after, I believe, she had a miscarriage.
Machine Gun Jr.
Machine Gun Jr. It's going to be Shotgun Kelly.
Little gunny?
What's a smaller gun than a machine gun? Like a
38 Colt.
Yeah, 38 millimeter Kelly.
Colt Kelly.
So, yeah, she's pregnant.
Glock Kelly. Little Glock.
Who the fuck is Machine Gun Kelly?
I don't know. Nobody knows. He's just some guy with tattoos who's impregnated Megan.
Yeah, I know he's much younger than her. And I guess he's a musician, but I don't know fucking anything at all about what the fuck kind of music he makes. And he dresses in the most annoying fashion a person could possibly dress. He's looks like a
does he have face tattoos?
No, but he looks like he should, right. I'm surprised he doesn't have face tattoos.
Yeah, he's if he doesn't have face tattoos, he looks like it's imminent. Face tattoos are imminent for him.
The fact that he doesn't have face tattoos actually makes me feel like maybe he went through some kind of very intense rebrand or something at some point. He wasn't always this kind of punk looking dude. Maybe he was more straight laced and his label was all right, we're gonna redo your image.
I wish I was.
Why would he not have face tattoos?
Yeah, I kind of wish I was cool enough to get a neck tattoo. I was one of those guys, but that would never work for me. So.
I'll take you to a tattoo parlor to get a neck tattoo anytime you want.
How funny would that be if for my 50th birthday I get a neck tattoo?
That just says what? Brad Listi.
just the Otherppl logo.
Otherppl.
A teardrop. Don't teardrops mean something? But that's below your eye. You pretend you get it.
That means people that you've murdered or something.
That's right. I'll get a teardrop tattoo.
Great idea. Walking around fucking I don't know, Larchmont Farmers Market with a teardrop tattoo.
I'm gonna go to Malibu to the Country Mart with my teardrop.
Right, exactly. You're gonna go to the Malibu fucking Country Mart. You're gonna go to I don't know, fucking a party in Brentwood. Hey guys.
Listen, I'm a literary podcaster, and
the streets are tough out there for literary podcasters.
It's so tough. But yeah, so Machine Gun Kelly's a musician, and Megan Fox's boyfriend, husband.
Yeah,
whatever.
We all know who Megan Fox is. She's Megan Fox.
Oh, you know what? I saw Megan Fox in Toronto once.
Really?
Gotta admit that. Yeah, my wife was working at the Toronto Film Festival.
Oh.
This was years ago, and I went with her when we were dating. And I remember it was one of those things where I'm always standing around not knowing what to do because my wife is working and has a purpose, and I'm just sort of this person there. And
your purpose is to hold her purse, just so you know.
Yeah, my purpose is just to be polite. But there was a situation where Megan Fox was getting ready to promote a movie or something, and
was it Jennifer's Body?
I don't know what year it would have been.
Jennifer's Body, great movie. Love that movie.
Yeah?
Classic camp horror.
What year was it?
I want to say 2009? Maybe.
Yeah, that would have been it. That would have been, because that was right around when I did it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was probably Jennifer's Body. That the movie was panned when it first came out and now has a totally different everyone has a totally different view. It is like a cult camp horror classic.
What was it? What was it about? Jennifer's body?
It's it's about Jennifer's body. No, it's about like a high school student who is friends with Amanda Seyfried, who I can't remember what her name was in the movie, and she isn't like a vampire, but she has like she has to eat boys in order to like stay alive. And so when she like doesn't eat a boy who's like in their class or whatever, like she starts to get like very pale and like thin, and like her eyes start like sinking in, and she like looks sick. And then she like eats a boy in their class and she becomes not sick anymore. And like,
is she a cannibal? So she's a cannibal.
Yeah, she's like a cannibal, but she's like a cannibal who has like the vampire thing of like they feel like they're gonna like like they die if they don't get like that blood or whatever, like, you know, like a vampire. Like just like if she doesn't get like the blood of boys, she will become deceased basically. And it's just like about how like the Amanda Seyfried best friend is like, you shouldn't be killing people, and then, you know, Jennifer is like, I'm not killing people, I'm killing boys. And that's kind of the conceit of the whole movie.
And it's aged well. Like now killing boys is that's considered what? Like
I think the issue wasn't even killing boys as much as it was just like how insanely campy the movie was. Like it's just like the script, the acting, everything about it is just camp. And so it was just seen as like bad in the day. And now people watch it and it's like funny and good.
I have to see it.
I mean, I would be very curious to hear your thoughts on Jennifer's Body.
Maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it for our next episode.
I'll come back with a full review.
Yeah, new Brad learns.
All right, so Machine Gun Kelly, we feel like I guess we've learned a little bit about who he is.
Yeah, I mean, I've given you as much info as I have about him. He's like, I don't know who he is besides Megan Fox's husband, basically, or baby daddy. Are they married? I don't even know.
Does she have kids?
She does. She has kids from her past relationship. She has 2, I think. I can't even remember who her last husband was, though.
There's a dude from Beverly Hills 90210.
Yes, that guy. She has 2 kids with that guy. And then, yeah, it was like a miscarriage with Machine Gun Kelly, and now she has a rainbow baby, I guess is what they call it.
Machine Gun Kelly is a song by James Taylor.
Is that why he's named that? I did not know that. That's wild.
Okay.
You know who? Well,
Good. Yeah, that's fine.
So this is like James Taylor's like. I guess is Machine Gun Kelly a figure in history? I have no idea what's going on.
Is he? I don't even know. I literally never thought about it until this exact moment. Actually, that's really funny.
I'm looking on Spotify and I don't even see. I type in Machine Gun Kelly and there's like not even any musician named Machine Gun Kelly. Is this for real?
Aren't on Spotify.
What?
He might just not be on Spotify because like their royalty system is like insanely fucked and crazy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let's see. Machine Gun Kelly. I wonder if either of us have ever heard like whatever his biggest hit is. I doubt it.
Little Gunny.
Little Gunny. that is a child's name. Machine Gun Kelly song. What if after all of this we find out he's not even a musician?
That's right. He's not. He's just like a male model.
Okay. Has anyone ever heard this song? Here we go.
All right. Is that him?
Yeah. He's a rapper, I guess.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I thought he did like pop punk or something.
I've been listening to techno lately.
Really? What techno have you been listening to lately, Brad Listi?
It's all because of that book I read. I was telling you about the rave book I read, but it was I've been listening to a playlist on Spotify called like the Berlin Underground.
Wow, so you're like getting prepared to go to Berghain? Is that like you think you can pass the Berghain vibe check?
Oh, you know about Berghain?
Do you know about Berghain?
Yeah, I read about it in this book. I was like, dude, this sounds terrifying.
Wow. It's I mean, you've got to pass a serious vibe check. So, you know, you should probably like get prepared if you ever want to try to get in there.
Yeah, I don't think I could make it. I think they'd sniff me out. They'd be like, this guy belongs at like a Fish concert.
For those who don't know, I mean, yeah, true. For those who don't know, Berghain is like a techno club in Berlin, and the security in the front is like this guy who is, people know who he is. I can't remember his name, but he literally just does a vibe check and that's how you get in or not. He'll like look at you and be like, do you seem fun? Okay, you can come in. Like, do you seem not great? All right, you're out. Like that's how you get into Berghain. Purely vibes.
And all the girls get in, but like the
hot girls get in always, but the guys, it's like, you never know.
Yeah, I never used to. I'd always get turned away at the door. They'd be like, can't dance. Doesn't look rich. Get him out of here.
Dance doesn't look rich. Get him out of here.
Sorry, buddy.
Do a dance audition before you go into the club. Like,
it'd be like me and like 6 of my buddies. Like we'd all be like, ugh.
It's because you're not showing up with like any women.
No, exactly.
You're just like, here are me and my other dudes, and they're like, why the fuck would we let you guys in here?
Please leave.
We're here to do other people's cocaine and not talk to women.
That's right. We don't have anything to contribute of value to this
we
entire...
have no drugs. We have no women. We'll buy like a drink each and kind of nurse it throughout the night.
I used to hate that shit. Like the line and you're sitting there waiting for the verdict.
I would never, like, unless it was like a concert or somebody I really liked or something like that. Like, I'm never waiting in a fucking line to get into a club. That's ridiculous. Like, if I go to the Abbey in West Hollywood and there's a line outside, I'm like, no, I'm going to go to the shittier bar down the street. Like, absolutely not. Even if it's a line that takes 10 minutes. Like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Not worth it. Folks, if you're listening, lines into clubs, not worth it.
Not worth it. Even if Machine Gun Kelly is performing.
Especially if Machine Gun Kelly is performing.
Yeah. Even if Megan Fox is giving birth to their love child on stage.
Right. Okay, well, if Megan Fox is giving live birth, that might be worth waiting in line for, actually. I take it back.
That would be awesome.
I would wait in line for a long time for that.
I think she should. She should like home birth it, like, but on stage while he plays before an audience. I think
we should do like that like stadium arena thing where like med students will watch like surgeries. She should do like that and sell tickets.
Yeah.
I would buy that would be like my Eras tour,
They seem sort of like hardcore. I feel like they might actually go for that. Like that. Like I feel like their whole I think Megan Fox is like trying to recapture the Angelina Jolie vibes of like the Billy Bob Thornton era,
I'll bet they're trying to get a reality show.
God.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like that seems like it's, if they're interesting enough, I feel like they would get a reality show. Or if they're not interesting.
The Kellys. What could they name their kid? It's like a little boy. They name it. Why do I think it's going to be a little boy, but I guess it could be a little girl. So
it's going to be named something so fucking insane. It's going to be like so insane.
Yeah. Because you can't have a name that like has ever been used as a name before. That's kind of the rule.
Yeah. And like it's going to be like, I'm trying to think of what the most like the way that the Kardashians have named their kids, like Psalm and like Chicago and like all this weird, it's going to be some weird shit like that. They're going to name the child like, I honestly can't even think of it. It's going to be that insane.
The Kardashians have a kid named Chicago?
Yeah. Because that's where Kanye's from. So they named the kid fucking Chicago. The dumbest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life.
You got to shorten that. Like, what do you call him? Like Shy? Maybe Shy.
That's what they call him.
They call him Shy?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's kind of cute, but knowing that the full name is Chicago makes it a lot less cute.
Kanye is such a character. He's a character.
Yeah, character's one way to put it.
That's one way to put it.
He's something. Character.
Maybe Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox should name their kid Kanye. That would be.
There you go. They could name the kid Donda.
What does Donda mean?
Donda is Kanye's dead mom.
Oh. Or remember what I couldn't pronounce? What is it called? Ye? I was calling it Ye. I was like, is that Ye?
It's Ye. You saw him, you're like, Yee!
But it's confusing because his brand is Yeezys. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he calls himself. Like,
it's like how people like would pronounce the Bayhive like the Beehive, like, or rather vice versa, pronounce the Beehive like the Bayhive.
Yeah, it's the Beehive, but it's the Bayhive, right? It's
it's the Beehive. Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce. Yeah. I don't know, Mira, these are details that are hard for me to parse, but I feel like that's why I come here week after week trying to improve myself. And
that's right.
I feel like we've done a good job of it today. And I want to commend both of us for making it through the entire experience, more or less avoiding anything of substance. So congratulations to us.
Congratulations to us. This is me clapping.
It's good to talk to you, Mira. We'll check in with you next week.
See you guys next week.